Here is Cadillac converter. Here is the downstream O2 sensor. This is the bank one. Let me show you how I got here and why I got here. So this thing is absolutely impossible to get to. They say go through the wheel well. Yeah, right. I couldn't get through it. So my next option was to drop it all, which is very, very dangerous where I live because everything is rusty and corroded. But with enough heat, patience, and time, I was able to get this down. I didn't film that because I did not have any faith in that working, but it did work. So anyways, I looked in the I didn't really see anything plugged, and most of the time it's not. It's usually just a downstream sensor. Since we have a bank one code, I went to the passenger side and I ripped off the whole Cadillac converter. Let's put it back together. And if this is your issue, and if this fixes this issue, you know, this would be a cheaper route. And now that you know how to get it off, really it's a pretty fast job. Just it's the patience with the heating and oil and just letting it go. I went with, before we get too far into it, I went with the Bosch. I read a lot of reviews and they say it works really well. I don't really want to go cheap with the sensors. These are original sensors. So this is a 2014. So again, fingers crossed this is it. I am loading up the parts cannon and firing, but it takes a 7/8 or a 22 millimeter. Lock that on there. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. And I have a vise, which really helps. But you can get yourself a partner, have them hold it. That might work too. Now, I do got other projects going on right now, so ignore all of this. We're going to be doing a lower control arm and something else. And an oil change too. So anyways, that doesn't matter. Already did the axle. Axle is brand new. So that's really nice. We just got to put something in or finish up that job. But anyways, that hole right there is where this Cadillac converter sits. Now they say you can just reach right over from the passenger side and grab it, and well, that's a lie. That ain't happening. So here's what I did. So I removed these two, which we'll find out the size later. Brings down the bracket to let this exhaust drop lower. Remove the 3 bolts for the bank 2, and then remove these 3 bolts, finishing up the bank 1. And that leaves a pretty large hole straight up there for, wow, you know what, now that I'm looking at it from down here, that oxygen sensor don't look too good either. And might as well replace that too. I have them. So again, are they functioning properly? Maybe, but that looks nasty. Let me take you up there. Okay, so I'm gonna put it in the same way I took it out. Move this out of the way. Angle this up. And that's it. Just gotta line up the holes up top. Alright, so I got the Cadillac converter back in. You can't film this. You absolutely cannot. But you can easily access that bolt. And they're all different sizes too, unfortunately. So the nuts on top, which I'm going to show you, are 14 millimeter. And those, and let me see, what's this one? Nope, yeah, see what I mean? Every one of them are different sizes. So if you give me a second, I'll run a socket up there and figure out which one it is. So using 2 6-inch extensions, you run it right up through here, and that's how you get to that bolt. And that's a 16 millimeter. And there's one more on this side, which again, you just run it straight up like so. That'll get you that 16 millimeter and the 2 nuts. One you can grab from the passenger side, which is really easy. And if you slide all the way back here, dude, if you don't have a lift, have freaking fun. So underneath that heat shield right there, you can reach your hand up on the left side or the driver's side of the drive shaft, come up here, and you got
clear access to the top of that bolt, right where my thumb is. I mean, I still gotta drive the bolts up, but I just wanted to catch you guys up before I move further. I am gonna replace that upper oxygen sensor upstream just because of how bad it looks. But like I said, that is that. Now these two are 12 millimeters. It holds up, it actually braces up the exhaust. Start that. Now when you're working on the exhaust and you're doing this backwards, do these two last. Only because once it does, the weight of it drops it down pretty far. And then when you're putting back this catalytic converter, when you get it up into place, I had to have help. Somebody just to do 2 of the nuts, so at least it stays up into place. And then you gotta line up this bolt right here. This is the one I would do first. Once you get the 2 top posts through, get the nuts on, do this bolt right here. It goes in front, and you can easily run your oxygen sensor wire. You can find the guides. Nuts are 15 millimeter. Okay, those 3 are done. Okay, so I did mix up the bolts. These are 3/16 millimeters, so the only 3/16 millimeters go right here. There we go, much better. Yeah, like I said, I was like, yeah, if the bolts don't go on, don't force it. So there we go. I did the 16s. Now I already tightened up. I already replaced the 2 that were on the top of the part of that catalytic converter. And here I'll show you where the O2 sensor runs to. Okay, so it's going to go on the front of the axle, more towards the motor. There's a wiring. You can put that clip, it's like a guide, put that through here, follow it straight up to here. And then once you put the 10 millimeter, 2 10 millimeter back holding on this heat shield, you can feed it through this wire guide right here. And that's how you replace the downstream O2 sensor and the catalytic converter, depending on which one you're looking for. That's bank 1. He over here on the passenger side. Guy, you got any questions? Just shoot me a message. But I try to do this backwards. I know that kind of sucks, but it's really not hard. It's just use some patience. Actually, get some help. I mean, to get to these bolts, I'll tell you the best tool I could use is, it's a 3/8 ratchet, but it has that angle on it. Man, I tell you, that got those bolts right off. So that's what you're looking at. So now I'm gonna go ahead and hop up there and replace that sensor as soon as I figure out where the wiring and everything go to. Because like I said, I have one and it just looks terrible.